multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zoa. No applause? You're all fired. This is for all you multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zoa. No applause? You're all fired.
Hey, good morning, America. Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Money! Are you ready? They are ready. Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here this morning.
It's always a good time. That's what the show's about.
That's good.
Really good.
Very good. Coming in hot. Jimmy coming in hot.
It's far from elementary.
Oh.
Good morning, America. I'm not going to try to strut like Michael or anything.
I have known George a long, long time.
Have you ever gotten him to dance?
Look at that face.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in. I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be there.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in.
That tells you something when Snoop Dogg's in. Michael, George, Lara, Ginger.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Lights go low, the city goes high. Stories untold under moonlit skies. Pray lonely, got the vibe, got the flow for the culture. Yeah, you already know. Turn dance never ends. Tune and lean and feel the groove. Every moment, a vibe you can't lose. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braylon got the soul to show you. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire.
Well, hello. You welcome into another edition of Brainley's Virtual Tour Live. We are live on tour. Glad to have all of you here in the building with me, y'all. We got a lot, and when I mean a lot, we have a whole lot to get to. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 destinations for you all this morning. I know it's been a minute since I did a whole show or a whole tour or stream with 9 destinations, but that's how much is going on. Rachel Scott got disrespected by the President of the United States. Child, I saw that this past week. I'm just like, you know what? What else is going on in the country? It gets to the point where it's just like I said, the thumbnail, he gets called a PDF file, he has a problem, right? But when he calls a woman a bitch, we can't respond to that. Okay. All right. We're going to get into it. Yes, we are at the top of the show. Then, of course, Jimmy Fallon and Mimosa St. John had the show On Brand with Jimmy Fallon. As you guys know, I reviewed every single episode of the competition, and it has been canceled. There will not be a season 2, which I am sad because I was ready to go on and win it and make my national television debut, but in another form, right? Then Lucky Strike apparently is a monopoly on the bowling industry. We'll get into that. Plus, there is a lawsuit out there, 80 pages. I'm not going to read all 80 pages. I'm just going to show you the lawsuit. Then BET is looking like they're culturally appreciating the culture. We'll talk about that. As you guys know, the huge virus that was on that cruise ship, well, people are returning to their home countries, and 1 American is infected. We'll give you the latest status update on that. Hersheypark, it might not be a season. It might not be a season for the fans of Hersheypark. That's right. We'll give you that update as well. Chrysler could be on the comeback. That's right. As you guys know, I played that Eminem commercial, the Chrysler 200, that amazing choir, where they could be on the comeback. Like I said, I just double spoke, but we'll get to that as well. Spirit Airlines, you guys remember when the fundraising started, right? It was at $3 million. I think it was at $10 million. Wait till you hear how much money it is now. And then Nick Cannon, child. I remember when I tried to help Melody Cherie, I was called everything but a child of God. Wait till y'all hear this. Now, even though this was a former accountant, okay, don't mean that's not significant, okay? Just keeping it a buck. Let's get to it, everybody. Shout out to 15 people, 14 people, 13 people here. Let's get to it because higher is way and low is available. But either way, we got to go on tour. Yes, indeed, we do. Let me take down that iconic intro there. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. Because one thing to know, 2 things for sure, that over here on this channel, a lot happens early. Rolling.
It's a new morning for America's family. It's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. You know a lot happens early.
I'm Harry Smith.
I'm Julie Chen. I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
Morning everywhere. Come on, get up.
I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Dave Price. And it's a little early for this.
Now this it's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up.
have an early show exclusive. Yes.
A lot happens early.
A lot happens early.
The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.
It's a new morning.
Yes, it is a new morning to Chin Moonves and to Russ Mitchell, Dave Price here, Smith, Maggie Rodriguez. You're absolutely right on this channel right here. A lot happens early. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's get to the getting and doing what we do, because we have 9 destinations for you all this morning. A jam-packed tour. My God. Shout out to the 14 people, 13 people, 8 people, 3 people. Either way, I'm glad you're here. Let's get to it, because, like I said, we do have a lot going on here. So, People Magazine, People.com, 47 slams ABC's Rachel Scott as horror show for asking why he's renovating D.C. during Iran war. Our country's about beauty. You can understand dirt maybe better than I can, the president told Scott. What you need to know. My God. President 47 snapped at ABC News senior political correspondent Rachel Scott on Thursday, May 7th, after she questioned the president's focus on construction projects in D.C. amid the war in Iran. 47 called Scott's question a disgrace to our country. The exchange is one of several tense moments between 47 and the women of the White House press corps. Now, let's recognize something, right? There was just a White House correspondents' dinner where the president could have been deleted from the face of the earth. This was his 4th time in terms of attempts of being deleted. And then he disrespected Norah O'Donnell in a 60 Minutes interview, saying that you're foul, this, that, and the third for reading the manifesto, even though it was factual information. And as mentioned too, the president said that he read the factual information. But then he said to Norah, look, Norah, tell him to get it done. We gotta do this dinner. I don't like it when people stop our show. My show, really, but y'all are a private show. So you would think that after almost being deleted for the 4th time, that, you would have a better relationship with the press. You would think that. Let's continue. President 47 snapped at a reporter on Thursday, May 7th, after she questioned the president's multiple renovation projects in Washington amid the war in Iran. 47, who declared his intent to make federal architecture beautiful again. Oh my God. I just laugh at that, because it's just like there are people losing Section 8 housing. There are people losing food stamps. There are people losing SSI, SSDI. There are women and children and men being raped and abused. And we got veterans that got mental health issues, and they're homeless. Got a homeless problem. Venture capital firms are being deleted because we have racists that don't want black people to get venture capital, or other minorities get venture capital. We have so many bigger issues. But yet the president wants to make federal architecture beautiful again. Okay. All right. Okay. An executive order last summer has since the start of his second term unveils plans to construct a 250-foot triumphant arch between the Arlington National Cemetery and the Lincoln Memorial, a sculpture garden featuring life-size statues of American heroes, basically white people, and a reimagined Kennedy Center bearing his own name, several renovations in the various rooms and areas of the White House, and more. Now, this is the thing that kind of confuses me. Like, is the White House not a national historic landmark? Because honestly, that should have had designation, because when you do that now, it goes under those standards and requirements that you cannot renovate. Just, it is crazy to me, right, that he can't stand black people, but yet he lives in the White House where black people built it. By the way, did you know that black people also built the U.S. Capitol? The one that there was an insurrection on January 6th. The more you know. Ooh, that was some hair on your chest in the morning. Jesus. Okay. And more, the administration also toppled the White House's historic East Wing in October to make space for 47's ambitious ballroom multi-million-dollar project that has faced numerous legal challenges since it was announced in July. 4779 took questions from reporters on the National Mall on Thursday as Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen, Interior Secretary Doug Burgum checked in on one of the president's latest ventures, repainting the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool ahead of the nation's 250th anniversary this summer. So he's trying to make the pool look blue. Once again, we got all these bigger issues, but he wants to make a pool look blue. Okay. Mr. President, you are here against the backdrop of the war in Iran. ABC News correspondent Rachel Scott asked 47 during his roughly 30-minute visit to the site, why focus on all these projects right now, especially with the gas prices soaring? You know why? Because I want to keep our country beautiful and safe. The president responded, this place was a disgusting place. My God. Just give me a moment, y'all. I just want to see something. Oh my God. Just give me one moment, y'all. I really do want to see something. Okay. So this is very interesting, right? Because he's talking about this was a disgusting place, right? That's what he said. That's what he said, right? That's exactly what he said. I want y'all to look at this. Wow, right there. You see that? That is the Lincoln Pool. So, let's look at this article now. I just simply cannot. Right here, before the concert, several marching band performances will take place at the Voices of the People celebration held on stage on the southwest end of the reflecting pool, rather. Okay. All right. So there was a concert right there. Okay. Right there. So that was during, that's Barack Obama's concert. Right there. That was Barack Obama's concert. Okay.
When I think of President-elect Trump speaking, we think about the speeches that he gave during the campaign. What is it going to be like? Just in the differences between his Thursday event, where he's speaking on the.
And then here it is here. So all of that, there we go. So all of that is the reflection pool. But let's go back to what you said. This is why we need history recorders, right? This is the exact reason why historians. I'm going to say this is why we need historians. This place was a disgusting place, but yet you had your inauguration on the with the reflection pool right there. Okay, that's not what our country. That's not what our country's about. He added, our country's about beauty, cleanliness, safety, and great people, not a filthy capital. A filthy capital. A filthy capital. Wow. I mean, if it's so filthy, then why just move to Mar-a-Lago and just do the presidency from Mar-a-Lago? I'm just saying, because it sounds like 47 is his supporters, who are also broken, tired, and decrepit, just like he is, of go back to your own country. So if you don't like the White House, go to Mar-a-Lago, right? I'm just saying. As Scott 33 attempted a follow-up, 47 turned the personal interaction. Such a stupid question that you asked, he said, addressing Scott directly. We're fixing up the reflecting pond to the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, rather. And you say, why are you fixing anything up? Because you can understand their baby better than I can, but I don't allow. This is one of the worst reporters. He added, turning to a group of construction workers who accompany him. She's with ABC Fake News and she's a horror show. A question like that is a disgrace to our country, the White House. And Scott posted clips of the exchange on X. Aaron Rupar, a prominent left-wing Twitter user, now posted a viral clip based on lip read. It appears that 47 called Scott a bitch to the people beside him after their heated exchange. So, my God. So right here, y'all, here we go.
Thank you, press. This way. Thank you, press. 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 This way. Thank you, press. 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 This way. Thank you.
Now, when you say bitch, you do emphasize the itch.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. This way. Thank you, press. Thank you.
So, it says right here, it appeared 47 called Scott a bitch to be beside him after he exchanged, though. His remark was not captured on microphones, could not be corroborated by People magazine, people.com. A source present tells people it was hard to hear whether that's what he said because it was loud in the area. The press pool was in the process of being ushered away. It seems like he may have said it when we played it back, but the mic wasn't close enough to him since we were being rushed out, the source says. Neither the White House nor ABC News returned a request for comment on 47's interaction with Scott on Thursday. As you can see here, piggy, ugly, and terrible person, 47 ramps up attacks on women in the White House press corps. 47 calls ABC's Rachel Scott the most obnoxious reporter in the White House for asking about the Pentagon scandal. The president has previously clashed with Scott, whom he called the most obnoxious reporter in the whole place, after she questioned him about U.S. strikes on an alleged drug trafficking vessel near Venezuela in December. 47 has also frequently rallied against ABC News as well as other mainstream media organizations as dishonest and biased against him. You know what, ABC News? I think it's maybe the most corrupt news organization on the planet. He said in March, after one of its reporters asked the president about recent fundraising email promising access to private national security briefings. I think they're terrible. I don't want any more from ABC News, rather, 47 said. In the court filing made public on Friday, ABC accused the Federal Communications Commission of violating its free speech rights after the 47 Live HC order review of the network station's licenses in April. The filing responded to concerns the administration has voiced about the View of Morning talk show, where the hosts are often very critical of the president. Now, I think the licenses, ABC licenses, hang on. So right here, by May 28th, 2026, forcing a review years ahead of their scheduled 2028-2031 expiration. Because guess what? 2028, the president is no longer the president. Let's continue on. 47's exchange with Scott on Thursday is also the latest in a number of tense encounters with the women of the White House press corps. Aboard Air Force One in November, 47 snapped at Bloomberg's Catherine Lucy to quiet Peggy following a question about the late financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's emails. Later, he called a female New York Times reporter ugly inside and out. Well, he should know. It takes one to know one on social media and call Mary Bruce, another ABC News journalist, a terrible person, a terrible reporter during a press briefing at the White House. I don't think I've ever seen you smile, 47 also told CNN-chief White House correspondent Caitlin Collins in February after the anchor asked about survivors of Epstein's abuse. The president recently fumed at CBS News correspondent Nora O'Donnell during a 60 Minutes interview that aired on Monday, May 4th, calling the veteran journalist a disgrace for reading from the alleged manifesto of Cole Thomas Allen, the suspected powwow in the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner last month. I could get any woman off the street practically, and they would do just as good of a job as her. He said after the interview had aired, there was nothing special. So, once again, I'm going to bring up the clip again, and I will gladly do it because this is ridiculous. So what do I think about this? First of all, to call a female reporter that it's just ask a 9, ask a 10, ask 11, ask a 12, and ask a 13 for one. Number two, for everybody saying that this is not racially motivated, we all know that he cannot stand black people. We all know this by now, right? And number three, like I said before, you do realize, like, you don't like the press, but yet you want the press, right? So it's like a double speak type of thing. And I'm just going to just play this because, like I said, this came from the guy that said this. Okay, here we go.
Indicated that she loved it. Okay, she loved it until commercial break. In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be raped. Didn't she say that?
So, sir, I just want to confirm, it's your testimony that E. Jean Carroll said that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper, indicated that she loved it. Okay, she loved it until commercial break. In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be raped. Didn't she say that?
So, sir, I just want to confirm, it's your testimony that E. Jean Carroll said that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper, indicated that she loved it. Okay, she loved it until commercial break. In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be raped. Didn't she say that?
So, sir, I just want to confirm, it's your testimony that E. Jean Carroll said that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper.
So, this man has said when you're starting, let you do it, grab him by the ussy. And that was very sexy to be great. And raped 13-year-old girls, judged their vulva and the tightness of their portal, and forced young ladies to perform fellatio on him. You know, this is like when Thirsty Toxicity talked about me and everybody else and said what we were, but yet we call her a bitch and it's a problem. Well, I'm sorry. He, she, it. Let me put some respect on that. You can't ask for construction when you cause destruction. You can't ask for construction when you've caused destruction. You can't ask for construction when you've caused destruction. That's just like Dusty E. Stell, the drag version of Dougie Fresh. Who said, and I quote, "Hey, could you tone it down? I'm talking about disabilities, but yet you, child, you let her face ride you like you a butch." Butch is close to bitch, isn't it? Anyway, moving on. The point is, you cannot just do anything, right? Expect. There we go. You just can't expect to do anything and not expect for people to respond. You can't expect to do anything and not expect people to respond. You can't expect to do anything and not for people to respond. Like I said, the president allegedly called a black woman a bitch, which allows his supporters to call other women bitches, right? Also, too, we've seen the MAGA supporters disrespect grown men who handle real men, right? At this point, like, the fact that the Epstein files was the thing that got MAGA upset is crazy work. Now y'all have a line. It just boggles my mind how many people still talk about Carissa Shields like there's nothing else going on. So if a man calls you a bitch because the president did it, then what? You're going to come on YouTube or social media, somebody called me a bitch today, I didn't like it, da, 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 da. But yet you talking about Carissa Shields, where personally, and listen, I don't get this, but I don't know why you would keep talking about somebody so heavily after Tasha K and Milagro Grams and Nosy Ho and AL and everybody else, male or female, who's done the most of celebrities, where you could be in a lawsuit. I don't know why you would keep talking about Carissa Shields all the damn time. Oh, that's right, because you're a one-trick pony, you're in constant drivel, and you ain't got nothing else to give. You're washed up, you're dried up, and child, you can't even be in the clearance section because there's no value to your material, child. Like I said, if I'm Carissa Shields, I'll go find out where you are, come whoop your ass, and then go. Child, everybody loves to see a volcano until that lava comes out. Child, let's roll on. Listen, what I'm saying ain't true. Don't respond to me. If you do respond to me, it must be true about your bitch ass or your bitch ass to some damn degree. And by the way, not everybody's just talking about Carissa Shields. If you talk about other things, I ain't talking about you. Okay? All right, moving on. Now, let's talk about On Brand with Jimmy Fallon because, this one hurt when I saw it. It really did. I made a comment on the Jasmine brand. It's got 10 likes already. So let's get into it. From Deadline.com, On Brand with Jimmy Fallon canceled at NBC. Jimmy Fallon has spent a long time last year promoting his business reality format On Brand. Unfortunately, it was one and done for the Tonight Show host after NBC elected to cancel the unscripted series. The show, which was created and hosted and executive produced by Fallon, follows him as he starts a marketing agency and fills it with the most creative, clever, and competitive go-getters he can find. He was joined by former Netflix marketing chief Mimosa St. John, who was also a cast member of Bravo's The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, as On Brand Agency's chief marketing officer, where she mentored the creators and evaluated their work. The series did not perform well on the ratings. It had slightly unusual rollout with original episodes both on Tuesdays in the fall at 10 p.m. as well as 8 p.m. on Fridays before the NBA took over some of the slots. In each episode, contestants worked with a major brand in need of a big idea for a massive, high-priority campaign. In the final assignment, spoiler alert, former pre-lawsuit and digital marketer Bianca Fernandez won a $100,000 cash prize to feature Ad Week, a trip to Lions Cannes in France, in the title of Innovator of the Year for her pitch to wellness device company Thoroughbody. Other brands included Captain Morgan, Dunkin', KitchenAid, Marshalls, Pillsbury, Samsung, Sonic Drive-In, and Southwest. On Brand with Jimmy Fallon was produced by B17 Entertainment and Universal Television Alternative Studio in association with Fallon's Electric Hot Dog. Fallon executive produced alongside Brian Megger, Britt Bachner, Pip Wells, and Kelly Powers. Fallon even went to Cannes, France last year for the Cannes Lions advertising trade show to promote the show. It's so beyond product placement, Fallon said on panel hosted by Samantha Guthrie. We're giving you 40 minutes as opposed to a 30-second spot. I'm talking about your brand for a whole hour. Talking of Guthrie, Fallon is working with her on a Wordle game show that's been picked up to series as his other game show, Password, is heading into its third season. You know, this really hurt me because I thought the show was innovative. And like I said, those are big brands, y'all. Let's go back for a second, right? Captain Morgan, the prize for that was tickets to the Super Bowl. And the cool thing about all of these, right, was there was a real life impact. So, for example, with the Dunkin', I think it was the Power Pail, you got to see the Power Pail sold in Dunkin' stores, right? With Sonic Drive-In, the Caramel Cold Brew, right? You got to see that at Sonic stores, right? Southwest, they did a whole wrap right around their plane. It was amazing that, first of all, Jimmy Fallon could get those brands to be like, okay, we're going to put ourselves on TV for a full hour. And they brought a legitimate problem. It was a great format. I hate that this happened because I was ready to go on season 2 and knock them out. You hear me? And be the first content creator to win. You know what I mean? And Bianca is more of an influencer than a content creator. But I was so ready. I do hope that this comes back in another form, maybe under another name, maybe some better. I'm not gonna say better host. I think with Jimmy Fallon, he is a good host at being funny. But for this, you really needed somebody who could really be serious or fun and serious, right? But Moses St. John, child, she has worked at Netflix. She has worked at Uber. She worked at Beats. She's in the Marketing Hall of Fame. Like, you can't get higher than the Marketing Mother-ucking Hall of Fame. So, very, very, very sad. Like I said, I do hope that it does come back in some form, because I do think that a content creator competition on that scale definitely needs to be on TV. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if there's anything new. Whoa. This is interesting. This came out today. Give me a moment, y'all. So I just saw a breaking destination. Wow. Woo, buddy, give me a moment, y'all. See, this is what I love about our show, is that we can go there live. We ain't gotta wait for something to die down or talk about anything. Wow. Okay, give me a moment, y'all. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. And this relates to this so much. Okay. So like I said, this is you can add this as a 10th destination. We are going to talk about this right from this space right here and right now. Give me a moment here. Just copy that. Just in case. And this literally just broke, y'all. So give me a moment here. Wow. Okay. All right, y'all, here we go. Let's get to it. A breaking destination while we are live on tour. So here we go, y'all. All right, y'all, here we go. Now, don't worry. I got this. What did you really think I didn't know what I was doing? That's why you copy the article, ladies and gentlemen. Now, when it comes to this show, On Brand with Jimmy Fallon, I feel like this would have been great for season 2 of having celebrities with production companies coming to them with real solutions, with real problems rather than the creators come up with real solutions, right? So here we go, y'all. This comes to us from the New York Times originally, not the New York Times, but Los Angeles Times. Originally, it was from Bloomberg. And this just broke. So here we go. Oh my God, jam-packed show today. All right, here we go. Inside a year of chaos and conflict at Kevin Hart's media company. This just came out today. So 7:14 a.m. Pacific time. 7:14 a.m. Pacific time to Eastern. So 10:14. So this just broke about an hour ago, everybody. So 8:10 a.m. EDT. So this was updated today, 8:10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but it was posted May 10th, yesterday at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So here we go. When Kevin Hart announced in January that he licensed his name to Authentic Brands Group, the popular comedian was silent on a key detail: the future of his namesake media company. Hart sold some ownership and oversight. Hey, let's see if I can zoom in even more. There we go. Hart sold some ownership and oversight of his brand in exchange for an undisclosed sum of money and a stake in Authentic, a New York-based firm that manages the likeness of Marilyn Monroe, Muhammad Ali, Shaquille O'Neal, and David Beckham. Hart used the partnership with Authentic to reset his relationship with the people around him and his company, according to six current and former employees. Hart's employees said they worry that this deal marks the beginning of the end of Heartbeat, the comedian's namesake media company that produces films, owns a network of short-form video channels, and handles marketing for brands. Though the announcement made no mention of Heartbeat, the agreement gave Hart money to buy out his private equity partner in the company over time and regain control of the use of his name, image, and likeness. Hart's endorsement deals, which has been a pillar of Hart business, will now be handled by Authentic. Once valued at $650 million, Heartbeat has shriveled over the past couple of years. The company enacted its latest round of job cuts in December, firing the heads of its scripted TV division, as well as employees across marketing, social media, brand partnerships, said people. Now, I do want to let you guys know this. This is not surprising news. A lot of media companies have been laying off people. Disney has laid off people. I believe Warner Bros. Discovery has laid off people. Paramount, Skynet has laid off people. So layoffs are a thing. But when you were once valued at $650 million. Do you know if I had $650 million? With all due respect, I would not be talking to y'all. I would be living my best life. Okay, I would still do the show to keep up, to keep up our connection. And in the words of the Bible, your gift will make room for you, right? So I would still do the show, but $650 million. What would you do if you got $650 million? You would be living your best life. Don't at me. Let's continue on here. And it's interesting because marketing, social media, brand partnerships, out of all the layoffs to do for a media company, right? Let's go back for a minute, right? Let's go back. that produces films, owns a network of short-form video channels, and handles marketing for brands. Produces films, owns a network of short-form video channels, and handles marketing for brands. Produces films, owns a network for short-form video channels, and handles marketing for brands. Why would you cut marketing, social media, brand partnerships that help your movies succeed, that helps your short-form video channel succeed, that helps level out the inner workings of these brands that you work with? Why would you cut the foundation that allows you to live in the mansion? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't damn it get it. But let's continue on. Said the People earlier this year, it let go of the leaders of its podcast division and later sued them for breach of contract. So I believe I think that's another article. Yeah. Hart has withdrawn from the company, leaving day-to-day management in the hands of a small group of executives. Staff meetings have been canceled. The development of new film and TV projects have slowed. A slate of new podcasts were pitched but never produced. Heartbeat struggles reflected the challenging environment for many Hollywood production companies as media giants merge and cut spending. We've been covering that quite heavily over here. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the Paramount Warner Bros. Discovery deal, which all of Hollywood is against, and not to mention, too, that company now has a combined $90 billion worth of debt, which if you can let me know of another company in America or in the world that has $90 billion worth of debt and they are succeeding, please let me know. Okay? You also, too, got to think about the spinoff of all the cable networks from NBC Universal into Versant, right? And the reason why I was championing the Netflix deal, and you can go back and watch that tour of when I talked about Netflix and Warner Bros. Discovery and the synergies that they had, was because Netflix needed a power move. Falcon, show me your moves. They needed that energy, and I think that Warner Brothers really lost out on an amazing deal to be with the future of Hollywood. And as you guys know, Netflix is trying to buy the Radford Studio Center in Studio City, and I showcased how the Warner Brothers studio backlot is about 18 minutes away from the Radford Studio Center. 18 minutes away, so it would have been very easy to do unscripted content at the Radford lot and scripted content at the Warner Brothers lot, and how it would have made so much money for them. And not to mention, too, how, Netflix could have improved Six Flags greatly. So go back to that live and go back to the Netflix Bros live after this live to watch those. It's crazy to me. $90 billion worth of debt. $90 billion worth of debt. $90 billion worth of debt. And then, of course, as we get to a little bit later, we're going to get to it here in just a minute, about Lucky Strike, because they are apparently are monopoly. Now, we talked about the monopoly of Live Nation and Ticketmaster. Now we have Paramount and Skydance, right? And when companies merge, a lot of people look at it as a blessing, like, oh my God, more resources. But there is something about, there's a door at Disney, there's a door at Disney, there's a door at NBC Universal, there's a door at Fox, there's a door at Paramount, right? And the more that the doors shrink, the less opportunity people have to get in the door. And I think that this is literally just, by the way, happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Honestly, it's Mother's Day week if you really want to be real about it. So if you did celebrate Sunday, you got all week to celebrate Mother's Day, okay? But literally, I was talking with my mom and my sister about this, and I said, you guys remember how I talked about the network and the reality star, how the network wants to be here and they want to start here? Same thing happening with Hollywood. come to the big screen for this. Same thing happened with Hollywood. Legacy Hollywood was always here. New Hollywood was always here. Now, New Hollywood is up here. We're just getting up there, right? So Hollywood doesn't know. Hey, Phil, good to see you, good sir. Hollywood does not know what to do with that energy. And Phil right here and Fullerton also know the work that I do, because not to mention just BFB Imagineering, but they have seen me break down the media industry live in real time. When I have told y'all that there is a change happening in Hollywood with the creator economy. There are like what is it? You know, the skylight that you see at like malls and like greenhouses and stuff. There's like peaks of light coming through, but the sun is not beaming yet. You had NBC Universal do their launch Unscripted Accelerator. 5 content creators got a $20,000 development deal. Then you had the Blavity Creator Collective. And then you had this. Roll it.
Yeah, we hustle all day. Yeah, we're working, let me play. You know me, work real hard, now we're ready, let's play. Hustle up, yeah. Ready, set, let's go, yeah. Hustle up, yeah. Ready, set, let's go. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, drop it to the floor, yeah, drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, drop it to the floor, yeah, drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, drop it to the floor, yeah, drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, drop it to the floor, yeah, drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder.
So you saw that, right? Bring your project, build up your team, get it approved. If it's a hit, we'll green light the next one. No bullshit. In addition to that, Fox has created Fox Creator Studios, and the first vertical is going to be cooking. But believe me, horror will be coming. Then it will be social commentary. Then it will be fashion. Then it will be technology, right? So the creator economy is making strides, everybody. And I think that when you have somebody as big as Kevin Hart, who, you know, he recognizes his power, but his power is waning because of the creator economy, but also too, when doors are shrinking, that means you have to shrink too. Just my opinions here. Let's keep going here. Oh my God. Heartbeat struggles reflected the challenging environment for many Hollywood production companies as media giants merge and cut spending. The company is also a cautionary tale in this age of the celebrity media mogul. Financial firms have plowed money into media companies led by high-profile figures, believing that they can use their notoriety to build valuable businesses. Yet even seemingly successful ones have had a hard time. Heartbeat, like many of its peers, has suffered from mismanagement and grapple with the tension between the need of the star and his company. Hart, one of the hardest working people in Hollywood, tired of subsidizing a company that relied so much on him. Hart declined to comment on this story, which is based on conversations with several current and former employees. On Sunday night, Hart, who hosted the widely viewed roast of NFL great Tom Brady 2 years ago, was the subject of his own roast on Netflix. Building a billion-dollar business. One of the most successful stand-up comedians and actors of his generation, Hart 46, has always been entrepreneurial. In 2017, he started Laugh Out Loud, an online video comedy business that grew to include branded entertainment. He also operated his own production company, Heartbeat Productions, that made programs for streaming services like Peacock, Quibi. Now, if you don't remember what Quibi was 5-minute shows, right? 5-minute episodes. They were the antithesis for the microdramas. that are going on right now. So shout out to Quibi. Shout out to Quibi. Shout out to Quibi. And then for those of you who don't know, Quibi, their originals got bought by Roku, right? So like I said, media is a very interconnected web. Very, very, very interconnected web. And Netflix Incorporated. With Hollywood in the midst of a production boom, Hart watches fellow celebrities get rich from their media enterprises. Reese Witherspoon sold her media company, Hello Sunshine, in a deal that valued it as much as $900 million. Child, that's close to $1 billion. Reese Witherspoon doesn't have to do another thing for the rest of her life. I got $900 million in my bank account. I ain't got to do nothing. Good morning, Reese. What do you want to do? Nothing. I'm going back to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, little baby. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Goo gaga time for you. Okay, listen. And then Hart's friend LeBron James raised money for his company, Spring Hill, at a valuation of $725 million. Hart believed he could be next. In late 2022, Hart merged his business interests under the Heartbeat banner and raised money by selling a 15% stake to the private equity firm Albany Partners. The deal valued the company at about $650 million. The new business was predicated on three pillars: film and TV, short video, and advertising. Heartbeat had a deal to produce movies for Netflix, and slate a podcast for Sirius XM Owens Incorporated, which also had Laugh Out Loud Radio, an original audio series for Audible. Heartbeat also developed relationships with advertisers such as Lyft Incorporated, Procter & Gamble Company, and DraftKings Incorporated. Now, here's the interesting thing, right? We talked about long video content before, right? Exactly. $900 million. All right, y'all. I'm done. I ain't got nothing else in the tank. What are you going to do? I'm going to take my BBW wifey and my kids and my family, and we're going to Disney World. And we're talking about the new improved Disney World that me, Phil, and Florentine created, not the Disney World that's now, because that sucks ass. Okay? All right, moving on. But like I said before, Phil can tell you, I have broken down the media industry too many times over to count. And one thing to know and two things for sure, when I speak about media, it always sounds like one of two things. Either I have gone on a plane, flew to California, found a card on the ground, snuck in, saw the plans, saw the blueprints. By the way, I had a suitcase and a backpack and everything, so I could just stuff them. Or I broke into their IT servers. Here's the gag: I didn't either. What do I always say, y'all? If you understand the moves that are happening around you, you'll understand what you're seeing in front of you. If you understand the moves that are happening around you, you'll understand what you're seeing in front of you. If you understand the moves that are happening around you, you'll understand what you're seeing in front of you. I just utilize public information, then give my opinion on it, y'all. That's all. That's literally all I do. But as I was saying, we were talking about long form content, right? And how advertisers are now going to reach channels that have 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 subscribers, because what that shows to advertisers is that the content creator is consistent, their base is loyal, and they're not going to bring anything that doesn't feel authentic to them. So that is a safe cash cow, right? And the bigger you are, the bigger they want the cash from the cow. I'm squeezing the udders of the cash cow. So when you are a small calf, like myself and others, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, right? when you're a small content creator in that vein, right? Now, somebody said that, even, 50,000 is a small content creator. I wouldn't say that's a small content creator to me. Okay. I'm a small content creator. All right. But the smaller the calf that you are, the more that you are nurtured, this, that, and the third. But the bigger the cow, the more they want the milk. The bigger the cow, the more they want the milk. The bigger the cow, the more they want the milk. So when you're a small calf, they can't really do a lot with you. But they know if they feed you and they take care of you and they love you enough, you will grow into that big cash cow. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Let's continue on. While Hart would star in Heartbeat projects, the goal of the company was to develop projects and new business that didn't involve its namesake founder. The company could leverage Hart's self projects and secure broad program partnerships. Hart would ask that Heartbeat be involved in producing his films and any advertising spokesperson for any advertising campaign rather for which he was a spokesperson. His fees as a producer and brand ambassador would help pay the bills. The hope was he'd convince other celebrities to use Heartbeat as well. Guy Randolph, who had been running Laugh Out Loud, was named Chief Executive Officer. So this is like $7 Productions, right? And there was a great article, I believe it was from the rapper somebody, that said, so $7 Productions is basically Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's movie studio. So if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wants to film anything, he can get it approved because it's his studio. But but Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson goes to, Universal, for example. I'm an ant currently. I crush ants with my tiny finger. Good Lord Jesus. But let's just say if Dwayne goes to Universal or outside studio that he doesn't have a production or content deal with like Disney, then it's hard because then Universal or any other outside production company can say yay or nay. And so when your social capital, comes in for more projects for you than outside projects, and that's a problem. I know what you're thinking, right? That's a problem. Isn't that a blessing? It's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because you get constant work. But if your company is only known for what you do and you can't show a repertoire, a resume, a portfolio of what else you can do to make other people money, then you're a sitting duck. Rather, I was about to say you're a dead duck. Who gets all the bad luck? No one. Hashtag McDonald Duck. Okay, so listen. When it comes to Heartbeat, the fact that there has been more produced of Kevin Hart than for other productions that he has had, that's a problem because he's not showcasing the value of himself to other companies. Because after a while, it's like, okay, we know what Kevin Hart can do. We know what Bradley can do. We know what Steve Smith can do. What can you do for other people? It's not what you've done in the past. It's what have you done for me lately? And this is why there should be an entertainment news network on 24/7 to give this type of coverage. Because if it was, believe me, that Stephen A. Smith contract, your friend and family member would be having. And do you know why I'll be having that contract, ladies and gentlemen? Because I don't have to prepare. Because I'm always in prepare mode. If you understand the moves that are happening around you, you'll understand what you're seeing in front of you. So by the time I get to my satellite location, or by the time I get to set, I already know about it. You already know about it. Yeah, I know about it. Just sit me down in front of the camera, tell me it's on, and move out my way. I don't really need too much. Now, of course, I'm being a little bit facetious because the producers are going to have to tell me what the segment is. But what I'm saying is 10 times out of 10, I'm already ahead of them. Y'all can just look at the YouTube channel and see we've been ahead of a lot of the culture. So, yeah, I would get that Stephen A. Smith contract very easily. It would be a multi-year deal. Because, to go back to that scripture, This will make room for you. I cover entertainment, media, pop culture, commerce, and theme parks. I'm good for life. I'm good for life. I am good for life. Those 5 sectors are always going to be moving. So because those 5 sectors are always going to be moving, and because I'm moving in those sectors, I'm never washed out with content. But see, here's the thing. Anybody can be a creator, but it takes somebody to be an artist. See, Heartbeat opened offices in New York and Atlanta and took over a 40,000 square foot West Hollywood office once occupied by Oprah Winfrey. Hart redesigned the space and installed a world-class art collection. I'm assuming that that's the one that's like near Netflix, I'm assuming, and stuff like that. And like the OWN was like the own purple letters and stuff like that, had like greenery on the inside. I'm assuming it was that former location. The upper level featured a work by Ghana artist Serge Akwe Koti. While the conference room had a sculpture by Zimbabwe artist Mafi Takadawa, made of computer keyboard keys. Portrait Kobe Bryant by Julian Pace hung outside a podcast studio. Hart's own office featured a dressing room, a series of paintings by South African artist Fini Tremelo, multiple TVs, and a desk from a prominent French designer. He really almost has a full service apartment in his suite. Kai Williamson, who also worked with Hart on project, told Architectural Digest Hart was interviewed for a story and also filmed an episode of the design magazine's Pandora video series. While Heartbeat expanded, Hollywood entered a recession. Economic uncertainty, rising interest rates, growing skepticism about the profitability of streaming caused major media companies to fire staff and pull back on buying new projects. Heartbeat was a little more insulated than most because talent like Hart could usually still get a project made. Still producing projects without Hart in a starring role became more difficult. And not to mention too, all right, my friend, thank you very much. Much love, brother. And not to mention too, everybody, if you guys have been noticing, a lot of productions have been leaving the United States. Like, I think MasterChef took their contestants overseas. More productions are being made in Canada. More productions are being made in Australia, right? And I remember when, I think it was Marvel, they said they were taking their movies overseas. Because Tyler Perry Studios, Marvel movies were made there. Tulip Studios, Marvel movies were made there, right? So it really is coming to the point where the war of art versus commerce looks like commerce is winning, right? And of course, it was always going to be that power imbalance, but still. Randolph left the company in late 2023, was replaced by Jay Levine, who has spent much of his career at Warner Bros. Discovery Incorporated. Levine brought in a couple of other senior leaders with experience at major media companies. A contingent of executives pushed Hart to scale back some ambitions. The company, a contingent of executives pushed Hart to scale back some ambitions. People said the company couldn't afford to be working so many different businesses at the same time, especially as areas like free advertising support, online video, and podcasts got more competitive. Hart was one of the most prolific and productive creative people in the world, starring and producing in movies, TV shows, comedy, short-form videos, and advertisements. The point of the company was to relieve the stress on him, not add to it. While Heartbeat closed his New York office, Hart was reluctant to scale back his vision or replace some long-time tenants. Levine negotiated his exit at the end of 2024, was followed out the door by the company's chief financial officer and chief content officer. Days before Thanksgiving, Heartbeat laid off about 20 people, nearly 1/4 of its workforce. A year of chaos and conflict. In January 2025, Hart announced that he would be the new CEO of Heartbeat and pledged to outline the first strategy in the coming weeks. Instead, Hart went weeks and sometimes months without visiting the office. Not Kevin Hart being the Carlos King of everything else. Oh my. Well, y'all know why I say that, because Carlos King didn't talk to the cast of 11 Marriage Street for a whole year. But that's crazy work, though. Sometimes weeks and months without visiting the office. Sometimes weeks and months without visiting the office. Sometimes weeks and months without visiting the office. The people said empower Jeff Flanagan and Chief Financial Officer Eric Stoneberg to run the company day to day. Hart was on set to shoot at least a couple of movies last year in addition to his other work. A former concert promoter and movie producer, Colgan had helped make Hart a major star. He had partnered with Hart to bring his stand-up specials to the big screen, producing shows such as 2013's Kevin Hart Let Me Explain, which grossed $32 million at the box office. Colgan produced some of these specials under the banner of his own company, Code Black Films, which I believe is still around, which helps promote, market, and distribute video from Black creators. Colgan continued to operate Code Black while serving in a senior capacity at Heartbeat. Said the people he pushed employees at Heartbeat to post its videos to Code Black channels as well, saying they could use the additional reach to raise awareness. The videos generate advertising sales for Code Black. Okay. I'm gonna make a loop-de-loop and pull and make your shoes look cool, and how this relates to Jimmy Fallon here in just a minute. But it's crazy work that the president of Code Black utilized Kevin Hart to fuel his media company. And Code Black has been around for a very long time. I would think the easiest thing to do would go to your social media page and say, hey, listen, we're looking for new content. We're looking for films. We're looking for TV shows, talk shows, game shows, what have you. Tag yourself. We'll DM you a link and you'll hear from us soon, right? I think the last thing, let me see something. Because there was a thing on Netflix. If I'm not mistaken, let me see something. Strong Black. No. Strong Black. Now, this was something here, right? And I'm going to just keep going. Because Strong Black Lead did something really big. And I mean really big. I got to go back a couple of slides here. Hey, 3 people welcome in. Glad to have here, not slides, but a couple of posts. Because when they posted this, I'm like, I know you're lying. Come on now. Okay. So, March 6th, right? Y'all really delivered. Thank you to everyone who tagged your favorites in our casting call. We're officially at capacity, but we appreciate every single submission. Stay tuned. So remember why I talked about the pop culture junkies with main character energy? Casting for a new social series. We talked about this. Pop culture junkies with main character energy. Do you stay with the hot takes, stay pulling receipts, have the range to talk about sports, anime, film, music, etc., have an interest in potentially becoming a host of your new favorite internet series? If this sounds like you know them, tag them. That's what Netflix did. They did that March 2nd. I tagged myself in that because I knew that was going to be a big deal, right? And then that was March 2nd, I believe. So from March 2nd to March 6th, that was it, right? If you missed it, you missed it, right? And I'm relating that to this, right? Because that's how you do it. If you want to be able to have new content, you put out a casting call. What that does is it lessens the budget you have to spend to find all these people because they come to you. Moving on. Flanagan had employees at Heartbeat oversee Code Black social media pages and ask if those channels loaded into Heartbeat's content management system. That gave Code Black's YouTube channels advantages over others because of Hart's prominence and his company designation with YouTube. Employers raised concerns with human resources and the company's lawyer because you can't utilize one company to make your company profitable in that fashion unless it is a brand deal. Partnership, content partnership, ladies and gentlemen. Kangan also became increasingly interested in video generated by artificial intelligence. He started a new app called Blacktopia, a streaming service for Black viewers programmed with content from online creators and often made by AI. He urged employees to work on it. People said Kangan initially responded to a request for comment and then retracted the text message. Meanwhile, many of Heartbeat's main businesses languished. Sales from the company's YouTube channels fell, and investment in new film and TV projects slowed. Heartbeat, once profitable, started to bleed cash. Heartbeat had hired Eric Eddings and Leslie Gahn to produce audio shows that didn't involve Hart, while the pair developed a slate of projects they never got approval to make them. In mid-December, Heartbeat fired about a dozen employees, including some of those who were supposed to develop the podcast. Eddings and Guam then decided to start their own company and began to try to raise money. When Kanga found out, Heartbeat fired them and sued them for alleged theft of trade secrets and breach of contract. Now, here's the thing, right? The breach of contract is one thing. I get that. But trade secrets of a podcast? All you got to do for a podcast is to have a studio, 2 chairs with microphones, have the production, room off in another room or right on the other side, cameras, 3 camera setup. Camera 2 is a wide shot. Camera 3 is on the host. Camera 1 is on the guest. That's it. You really mean to tell me trade secrets? And not to mention, too, people in Hollywood, they work with other people. So you talk about the trade secrets of how, like, Heartbeat got their deals and stuff. Those people also have relations with those people. So but hell, that's just my opinion, right? A court approved a temporary restraining order, but then rejected a preliminary injunction saying Heartbeat had not demonstrated Eddings and Guam had used proprietary information or trade secrets. The court said the request was vague, ambiguous, and overbroad. The case is ongoing. Heartbeat also fired the heads of its TV division, Tiffany Brown, Mike Stein, who were in the middle of producing a TV show based on the film Barbershop for Amazon Incorporated and a second season of the anime series Lil Kev. Oh, damn. So that means I was looking forward to that Barbershop show, for real. The company made no official announcement explaining the cuts. The following week, the senior leadership arranged a Zoom meeting. Hart remained off camera until it was his time to speak. He talked for a few minutes about the changes at the company and took no questions. Hart changed his number in the weeks following the layoff. Some of his advisors had suggested he do this years earlier so that he wasn't so available. This is given the Steve Harvey, don't talk to me at my dressing room, this, that, and the third. But here's the problem, right? When you are wearing the crown, you have to be responsible for what comes with the crown, right? So, oh my God. A few weeks later, Hart announced the deal with Authentic Brands Group. Hart used some of the proceeds to buy out RB Partners, freeing him to steer his brand deals to Authentic and outside Heartbeat. A few of his employees and his publicists joined him at Authentic. This is a turning point for Heartbeat. The company wrote a subsequent email to employees to explain that the deal would free Hart up to focus on what he does best while allowing Heartbeat to stand on its own and grow beyond him. The past few months have been tough, Hart wrote, adding that for too long the company has been too dependent on him. The email said to be from Kevin, a.k.a. Boss Man. It was sent by Hart's assistant. Shaw writes for Bloomberg. So, how does this relate to Jimmy Fallon? If Jimmy Fallon's show, On Brand with Jimmy Fallon, was still on the air, it would allow other companies, other brands, right, to be able to have a full episode of content that they can utilize in pitch meetings to future investors, and that social capital could create financial capital. Same thing with production companies, because I feel like that would have been great for season 2. Imagine Jill Scott comes in with her production company and says, hey, I need somebody to make a TV show. Content creators are going off to make it. That would have been amazing. And I think you do need different shows and different incubators for the industry to grow. So so now you know about Kevin Hart and Heartbeat Productions. All right, y'all. So let's continue on. Speaking about business, front office sports, Lucky Strike accused of building illegal bowling monopoly. The price to bowl at Lucky Strike owned alleys has tripled in recent years, the lawsuit says. So, of course, I have that article as well. Give me a moment. Okay, so here we go, y'all. Lucky Strike accused of building illegal bowling monopoly. The price to bowl at Lucky Strike owned alleys has tripled in recent years, the lawsuit says. Lucky Strike Entertainment has been accused of building an illegal bowling monopoly, rolling up hundreds of bowling alleys across the United States, driving up prices and degrading the customer experience through what plaintiffs call illegally acquired scale. The lawsuit, first report owned by Lever, and filed Wednesday in Washington federal court, portrays the company as a Wall Street Goliath that transformed bowling from an affordable American pastime into an overpriced business focused on the financial bottom line instead of the customer experience. In some cases, the price to bowl at Lucky Strike owned alleys has tripled in recent years, the lawsuit says. It says the rise of the company, formerly known as Bolero, has been fueled by the repeat hedge fund and private equity investment on the road to going public. Lucky Strike went public via a special purpose acquisition company merger in 2021. The proposed nationwide class action lodged by a group of 11 named plaintiffs alleges Lucky Strike used an aggressive acquisition strategy to become the dominant force in American bowling. It says the company currently controls about 35% of U.S. bowling revenue and more than 350 bowling centers across North America. Its next closest competitors are Main Event, which operates 64 centers, and Round 1 Bowling, which operates 56. Plaintiffs and the consumers they seek to represent have suffered substantial injuries as a result of Bolero's acquisition scheme. It was a scheme that tied them to come to us with the bullshit. Shout out to Bertha, everybody. In the form of higher prices, reduced quality, and the virtual destruction of the decades-old pastime of bowling in America, the suit says. In Little Rock, Arkansas, there was Professor Bowl and Millennium Bowl, right? Yeah, those two bowling places are still around, I believe. A Lucky Strike spokesperson stating that this lawsuit is a meritless attempt by a startup plaintiff's firm to generate headlines at the expense of a company that's spent more than 3 decades expanding opportunity for the sport of bowling and the communities we serve. Lucky Strike Entertainment has a small share of the market with thousands of bowling operators and new competitors entering the space on a continual basis. We have grown by building better experiences, not for our guests, not by limited choice. We are confident in our conduct, confident in the law that we will defend this case vigorously and to the fullest. The law firm behind the suit, Simonson Sussman LLP, was formed in June of 2025, so they are definitely a law firm. The two founding partners, Catherine Simonson and Shaw Sussman, have both had prior experience working at the Federal Trade Commission. Oh yeah, they worked with the feds. Yeah, they know what they're doing. The Starbucks of bowling is cites comments made in 2013 by the company's former chief financial officer, who said the aim was to become the Starbucks of bowling. And also claims the company employs a mousetrap modeled by getting customers in the door and then convince them to spend more money than originally intended. In addition to gobbling up as many bowling centers as it could, the company has raised prices, pushing customers to buy more alcohol and promote gambling through an app in 2022, according to the suit. That app Moneyball solicits bets from customers on various bowling outcomes. In states where sports betting is illegal, the app is still available, but instead of cash payouts, customers can win coupons. Yes, those coupons go to food and drinks and, additional games, I'm assuming. The lawsuit doesn't specify how many class members there may be, although it notes that there are millions of people who have been harmed by Lucky Strike's alleged monopoly, including those who have paid higher prices at bowling alleys owned by rival companies that had raised their prices to compete. It also doesn't detail amount of damages, but requests whatever figure to be determined whatever figure is determined at trial to be automatically tripled, rather. The plaintiffs also want Lucky Strike to be forced to unwind some acquisitions it has made in recent years, as well as a ruling that would bar the business from making further acquisition in bowling and adjacent markets. This court has the power to preserve the centuries-long tradition of operating bowling centers in this country as a fair and honest line of business, provide all Americans, regardless of age or socio-economic status, the opportunity to gather and engage in natural pastime at fair prices. The suit says the 11-count complaint claims violation of laws, including the Clayton Act, Sherman Act, unfair competition laws in multiple states. The lawsuit was filed the same day Lucky Strike reported fiscal third quarter results, which missed expectations. Total revenue increased by less than 1% to $342.2 million from $339.9 million a year ago, while net income increased $16.9 million from $13.3 million last year. The company said its performance in the quarter was impacted by two major winter storms and a decline on consumer confidence in discretionary spending following the escalation of the military conflict in the Middle East. Shares of Lucky Strike are down nearly 10% this year. A representative for the plaintiffs declined to comment further than what was included in the lawsuit. A representative for Lucky Strike did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So there is that. Now I want to bring up Lucky Strike Entertainment just to show you what it's all about. So this is Lucky Strike Entertainment. Here we go.
We are Lucky Strike Entertainment, the global leader in elevated fun. With over 360 locations nationwide, we are setting the standard for premium entertainment experiences. From modern bowling lanes, high-speed go-karts, exhilarating water parks, cutting-edge arcades, and upscale dining, we create spaces where people connect, celebrate, and keep coming back. Lucky Strike Entertainment, the premium entertainment brand.
So, just want to bring your attention to a couple things. Boomers is regional theme parks, right? Bolero was some bowling lanes that used to be around. Professional Bowling Association, that is the association that handles all the professional bowling. AMF Bowling, I believe it's also, it was a major operating of bowling centers and a major manufacturer of bowling equipment that is still around today because they provide the equipment for that. And then Lucky Strike is the foundation, right? So that is Lucky Strike Entertainment. So right here, as you guys can see, leadership emphasized a premium design-forward approach to their 360 locations, incorporating high-end food, beverage, and modernized arcade environments. So that is really big there. Of course, AI company utilizes AI for revenue projection models and implement gamification and features where legal to enhance guest engagement, increase revenue per lane. So, and then here is Lucky Strike Entertainment right here. years this year.
All right, consumers are getting more selective. We know that. We've been talking about it all day. But leisure and entertainment businesses, they're actually hanging on, at least for now. Our next guest company is bracing for how tariffs might impact consumer sentiment. It's forging ahead with an expansion, diversification, if you will, adding water parks, family entertainment to its, well, what was once just a bowling empire. I'm pleased to say joining us right now is the CEO of Lucky Strike, Tom Shannon. Tom, great to have you here on the program. You know, it's so funny, you know, we talk about, you know, you being kind of a bowling giant, but when I start to look at your portfolio, I look at some of the moves that you made. We're talking about a much more diversified business, water parks and other sort of areas of leisure. And I am curious what the rationale behind that was when you started to go down that path.
It's really interesting, Romaine. When we look at these adjacent businesses, almost by accident, we realized that the economics were virtually the same as bowling in terms of margin, return, and who the customers were. And so we said, these are exactly what we've been doing successfully for almost 29 years now, except they're at a larger scale. So as an example, we now have 5 water parks, and the average unit volume of those is about $17 million versus our average unit volume on the bowling side of about 3.3 million. So for basically the same amount of effort, time, managerial attention, we're doing things with 5 and 6 and 7x the scale. So it's a really exciting adjacency. And the other thing is that it gives us the ability to cross-sell between the bowling, the family entertainment centers, which are branded Boomers, and various water parks that have their own brands.
Well, I am curious that when you talk about the differences between those businesses, what does that spend look like? And I don't necessarily mean in terms of aggregate spending, but like the frequency of spending, the amount that they spend when they actually arrive, which one typically does better or is more resilient?
I'd say they're both pretty resilient. So if you take the bowling business, there's fundamentally 3 aspects. There are 3 customer groups. There's retail, which is just walk-in. There's the league bowler, which is organized play, and they'll commit to a typically 32-week season. And then there's the event business, which is everything from children's birthday parties up to high-end corporate events. And they all act very differently. For example, right now, the league business has been up for the last consistently really since COVID. The retail business has trended positive over the last couple of months, and the corporate business is still a drag. But in aggregate, the bowling business is trending up. The water park business, I think, is sort of a permanent fixture because if you live far from the water, if you're not in a coastal area, you know, and it's 90 degrees all summer, how do you entertain the children? Right. And so we have water parks in the Inland Empire of California, in North Carolina, outside of Illinois, and I think that business is extremely resilient.
When it comes to broader consumer trends out there, we've been talking on this program a lot about tariffs and, of course, the hit that we see on actual physical consumer goods and how that might affect spending. One of the areas that we've seen that continues to be resilient and has been really for several years now, even during the pandemic, was the idea of services. The idea that people may not want to go out and buy a discretionary item, you know, a lipstick or, you know, a new piece of clothing, but they are willing to go out, to go bowling, to go to a restaurant, do things that provide them some satisfaction in the short term. Do you think that holds up, even in the face of any sort of economic downturn that may sort of arise over the next few months and quarters?
I think there's definitely a shift from people consuming things to experiences. And you see that in, for example, the price of hotel rooms around the country. It seems like they've doubled or tripled over the last 5 years. So people are out traveling a lot more. Restaurants, if they're good, tend to be very busy. So I think we're in the sweet spot of the economy. And I don't really see anything changing that. The beauty of where we are is we're very high value. So, you know, the average walk-in retail customer probably spends $35 with us, which is not a lot of money, frankly. And it gives us the ability actually to add products and services like upgrading our food, which we've made a concerted effort to do, and it's actually quite good. Food for us was always an afterthought. Now it's a core offering. And I think by doing these things, we have the opportunity to earn more money from the consumer when they visit. But if you had a severe downturn, then people may trade down to us as a higher value offering than going to an expensive restaurant. We've been through 3 major recessions since I started the company back in '97. There was 9/11, there was financial crisis, and COVID. And what we found was a tremendous amount of resiliency in the retail walk-in business over those eras.
Hey, real quick, Tom, before we let you go, I am curious. I mean, do you have any material tariff exposure that you've been having to manage?
No, we don't.
And you don't anticipate to see anything in that area?
Well, I mean, we have very, very little that we import from China, for example, and it tends to be very low cost and not an important part of our business. So we're sort of, I don't want to say we're immune from tariffs, but we're not exposed to tariffs in any meaningful way.
All right, Tom, got to leave it there. Tom Shannon there is the CEO of Lucky Strike, which...
Thank you very much. So here is the menu for Lucky Strike, because he said that the food is a premium thing. So you have the cherry peach craft lemonade right there. Then, of course, you have the pizza and pitcher combo. So you can do a pitcher of ice cold margarita, beer, rather, or soda. Then, of course, you have espresso martini. You have game night feast there. You have craft lemonades. You have Baja shrimp tacos, truffle fries, the Mike's hot honey chicken sandwich, pizzas, double smash burger, honey chipotle chicken bowl, Mike's hot honey pizza. So they are known, right? And I put it like this. It is a difference between making a monopoly on something that everybody should have a part of and a monopoly where nobody's paying attention. I think those are two completely different things, because when you think about bowling, right? For example, my grandma, she bowls. She's part of a bowling league, right? But when you talk to most people say they go to Dave & Buster's, they go to Main Event Entertainment. They're not saying that they go to, bowling alleys. That's not really the thing now. That don't mean people don't go, but we are seeing a resurgence back at movie theaters. Gen Z is going to movie theaters more often than ever before. I've went to see 3 movies at the movie theaters this year, the most I've seen in a long time, right? And then, of course, we talk about Gen Z, reviving balls. So I don't know about this one. I do think that there is a trend of this monopoly, war going on. So that's my take on it. Here's the lawsuit here. Y'all, I am not going to read all this, but if you want to read it on your own time, the link is in the description box, okay? Just to let you know. I'm sure I'll be reading this on my own time, because I'm always fascinated by stuff like this. You know what I mean? So just to show y'all that, yes, this is a real lawsuit. And, it's funny that they said that this is from a startup firm. Now, 80 Pages is not a startup firm, okay? Let's keep it a buck. But I do think that what Lucky Strike has done is I think that they have revitalized bowling to be, sorry, y'all can't even see the pages, my bad. We're live. But here it is here. As you can see, it's 80 pages, right? So I'm not going to showcase all 80 pages here, but just to show you one of 80 pages. And like I said, I do think that for this here, when it comes to Lucky Strike Entertainment, I do think that some of them could be themed bowling centers. Like imagine a Disney bowling center rather. And Mickey says, "Oh, you got Strike." Imagine a Universal bowling center. Imagine a Kool-Aid bowling center. Imagine a Dave & Buster's bowling center. Now I know what you're thinking. Right? Why would Dave & Buster's get into bowling? If you can't go to Dave & Buster's, you'll go to a Dave & Buster's themed bowling center, right? So I do think that if this is a monopoly, I do think that they will license Lucky Strike to different brands. It's like, hey, if you want one of the bowling alleys to be themed after something, we'll make that happen, right? So we'll see. We'll see. But I thought that was a very interesting destination there. All right, y'all. More Brand News Virtual Tour Live coming up right from the space right here and right now. So this is from our good friends at blackprwire.com here. Shout out to them. BET announces the return of the Black Iconic Soiree on May 23rd, 2026 at MGM National Harbor, hosted by Laverne Cox, celebrating culture, community, and impact. And this is the logo here. I think y'all could have done the Black Iconic Soiree. I just think that would have been simpler, but hey, who am I? Lavelle Dante to host the red carpet as BT honors the power, influence, and impact of Black LGBTQIA plus excellence. From New York, BT announced the return of BT Black Iconic Soiree, set to take place on Saturday, May 23rd, 2026 at MGM National Harbor in Oxford, Maryland. The annual event continues its mission by honoring and celebrating the intersectionality of the Black and LGBTQIA plus communities, recognizing cultural leaders, and fostering collective impact. Emmy-nominated actress, producer, and advocate Laverne Cox will serve as host for this year's Black Iconic Soiree, bringing her signature voice, visibility, and cultural influence to the evening. Comedian content Lavelle Dante will host red carpet, set the tone for the night ahead. The Black and Iconic Soiree brings together luminaries, advocates, and change makers for an intimate evening of recognition, celebration, reflection, and celebration, rather. Through powerful storytelling, performances, and honors, the event highlights individuals whose work continues to shape culture, advance equity, uplift the Black LGBTQIA plus community. Taking the stage for special performances, Tweet, the Grammy-nominated singer and songwriter known for her timeless sound and soulful delivery, performed 2 songs during the evening. As we continue to champion Black culture and create spaces that celebrate authenticity, impact, rather, the Black Iconic Soiree remains a powerful reflection of the voices and leaders driving meaningful change, said Tyrell Hayes, Executive Vice President, Marketing and Arts Development, Paramount Television Entertainment Group. Black and Iconic is about more than recognition. It's about honoring the voices, stories, and leaders who are actively shaping culture, shifting narratives, and expanding what is possible for the next generation. The 2026 event will feature awards dinner live performances with select moments captured for a pre-taped streaming experience. So there is that. This is kind of reminded me of, what was it? Rip the Runway, where that was a fashion show raising money for HIV research, right? So we shall see. I do like it, and I hope that they do this for, the Black and Iconic Soiree for content creators, the Black Iconic Soiree for activism, the Black Iconic Soiree for entrepreneurs. I think that the Black Iconic Soiree could be a franchise for BET. All right, y'all. Our next story. Trigger warning for everybody. This is not to scare you. This is just to alarm you, okay? Not to alarm you, child. My God. Child. This is not to scare you. This is just to inform you. There we go. All right. 17 Americans from the hantavirus-infected cruise ship returned to the U.S., including one who tested positive. This is coming to us from People Magazine, People.com. 17 Americans from hantavirus-infected cruise ship returned to the United States, including one who tested positive. 17 Americans from the hantavirus-infected cruise ship returned to the United States, including one who tested positive. One U.S. passenger tested positive, and another is showing mild symptoms. Here we go. Two American passengers from the hantavirus-infected cruise ship are traveling in biocontainment units due to mild symptoms and a positive test for the Andres hantavirus. Passengers received care at specialized pathogen treatment centers in Nebraska before moving to final destinations. The World Health Organization, who reassured Tiffany residents that the hantavirus outbreak poses a low public health risk despite the cruise ship docking nearby. American passengers on the MV Honduras cruise ship at the center of the hantavirus outbreak are returned to the country on Sunday, May 10th. The Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, shared an update on Twitter, knowing that 17 American citizens from the cruise ship are in the process of being repatriated into the United States. All 17 are currently en route to the State Department airlift to the United States, with 2 passengers traveling in the plane's biocontainment units out of abundance of caution. The HHS shared. One passenger currently has mild symptoms. Another passenger tested mildly PCR positive for the Andres virus. Andres hantavirus originates in South America, according to the Centers for Disease Control. It can cause a severe respiratory disease in people called the hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, HPS. It is spread through contact with rodents and rarely through contact with a sick person who has the virus. The HHS noted that the American passengers are being transported to the ASPR Regional Emerging Special Pathogen Treatment Center. Say that 3 times fast. RESPTC at the University of Nebraska Medical Center, Nebraska Medicine, Omaha, Nebraska. The department knowing that after their time at those facilities, passengers with the mild symptoms will then be taken to a second RESPTC at its final destination. According to the BBC, the American passengers will be assessed and monitored for 42 days. There is the cruise ship there. I'm sure that cruise ship is going to be out of commission for good. There are 8 suspected cases linked to the boat, 3 of which are confirmed as hantavirus by laboratory testing, according to the World Health Organization update. To a World Health Organization update shared on May 6th. According to French Health Minister Stephanie Rist, a French woman also tested positive for hantavirus, and her condition has worsened in the hospital overnight. Per the Associated Press, the French woman was among the 5 French passengers repatriated on Sunday. The patient developed symptoms on the flight to Paris. French Health Minister Rist told local broadcaster France Inter. The outbreak has been linked to 3 cruise ship passenger deaths so far, while none have been identified. NBC News reported that they are believed to be a Dutch couple and a German national. One person is still being treated in an intensive care unit in South Africa. The cruise ship docked on Tiffany, the largest and most populated of the Canary Islands on Sunday. Passengers were photographed wearing face masks, plastic covers on their hair, and clothes with their belongings in plastic bags. The World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus penned a letter to the residents of Tiffany in Spain's Canary Islands on Saturday, May 9th, ahead of the cruise ship docking in the area. Passengers will depart the next day. I know you are worried. I know when you hear the word outbreak, you watch a ship sail to your shores. Memories surface that none of us have fully put to rest. The pain of 2020 is still real. I do not dismiss it for a single moment. Ghebreyesus said in a statement, but I need you to hear me clearly. This is not another COVID. The current public health risk from hantavirus remains low. He continued, my colleagues and I have said this unequivocally, and I will say it again to you now. The risk to you living your daily life in Tiffany is low. This is the World Health Organization's assessment, and we do not make it lightly. The MV Honduras carrying about 150 passengers left Argentina on April 1st for the Canary Islands, with stops in Antarctica, the Falkland Islands, South Georgia, Nightingale Island, Tristan, St. Helena, Ascension, and Cape Verde. The New York Times previously reported. So that is the latest on that. I just wanted you to know about that because child, just this year is just it's ridiculous. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. I mean, at this point, I definitely need a turkey leg and a funnel cake and a thick chick to get through this stuff, because this is just hell. It really is. It really, 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 really is hell. And like I said, I know that compared to other countries, we are very blessed. But y'all, you got at least admit this is crazy-ish, right? So. Sorry, I'm looking for something. Because I wanted to talk about this too, since we're talking about things overseas, right? Okay. Okay. So here's this to y'all right here. So Ashley Janae's fiance Joe McCann getting death threats after influencer's tragic death. Right here, he has experienced racism and received online threats after her tragic death. TMZ has learned. Sources close to Joe tell us ever since Ashley died while on a trip to Tanzania, Joe and his family have received an overwhelming number of death threats and messages of hate. We're told this situation is particularly hard for Joe because the insinuation that he had anything to do with her death hurts him deeply. Our sources say Joe truly loved Ashley, that he never hurt her or any other woman for that matter. Joe has been more than happy to work with authorities during their investigation, our sources said. On top of threats, we're told that Joe has experienced a wave of comments attacking him because he and Ashley were in an interracial relationship. Our sources say these comments often push a narrative about him, a well-off white man killing his black fiance. We're also told that Joe is very aware of these comments being made and his pain is being compounded by racist vitriol. So, Ashley's family has decided to prohibit Joe from going to her funeral. Our sources tell us Joe is in Africa, so he was not able to attend the funeral. I think he made a statement too. And then right here, like I said, I know it's a lot going on. Influencer Ashley Janae's fiance breaks silence 4 weeks after her mysterious death in Zanzibar trip. This comes to us from People Magazine, people.com. It's crazy that she was 31 years old, y'all, my lord. So right here, Joe McCann, the fiance of influencer Ashley Janae, has broken silence nearly 4 weeks after her death. 31-year-old content creator whose legal name was Ashley Robinson died on April 9th while on a trip with McCann to the Tanzanian bar of Tanzania Island, Zanzibar. In a May 5th post to Twitter, McCann remembered Robinson as his best friend, confidant, and fiance. On Tuesday, May 5th, McCann, who had not publicly addressed Robinson's death, shared a lengthy statement on Twitter reflecting his grief. Remember his relationship with the late internet personality, calling her death an incomprehensible tragedy. There are no adequate words to describe the total devastation, emptiness, and shock I feel after losing my best friend, confidant, fiance, Ashley Janae Robinson. He opened the message as a father myself. I'm also heartbroken for Ashley's parents, Yolanda Andres and Harry Robinson. McCann continued to devote fans knew Ashley through the Garris Mag on my persona, Ashley. But the person I love was always Ashley, a woman who embodied the virtues of compassion, empathy, kindness, generosity, love, nurturing presence. Ashley cared deeply for the people closest to her, to which my eternal gratitude included me. She fanned me up with her amazing cooking and had a great relationship with my kids. Each day we shared both quiet moments of reflection, the many joys of being in love with each other. So there she is there. McCann went on to describe Robinson as a lovely soul and creative genius who had encyclopedia knowledge of music, and she said she took great pride in her Trinidadian roots. What Ashley desired most was to become a mother and to raise a family together. He added, there's no question she would have been an amazing mom, including McCann. And Ashley was an angel who shined her light on everyone fortunate enough to be in her presence. There is no way to fill the unfillable void left by Ashley's passing, and no way to make sense of this unfathomable loss. All we can do here on Ashley's legacy for helping other people and strive to live up to her virtues every single day. Ashley, I love you forever. So that is the latest on that. Like I said, that situation, I I'm talking about because it relates to our health situation about the cruise ship that was in Spain. And I will just say this, when it comes to travel these days, the travel industry, the hospitality industry, the hotel industry, it is very, it seems very unstable, right? Because at this point, it's just like, okay, where can you go and be safe, right? I do pray that, the virus doesn't take those people out. We have had 3 deaths reported so far. And of course, this could be another crisis for America. Of course, the research for this was cut by the president of the United States. Everybody else voted for. And of course, with Ashley Janae, she should still be here without question. I'm sure more information will come out. And y'all just protect yourself. Seriously. And I would love to go to Africa too. I really would. I think it'll be an amazing trip. But also too, there's a place called Disney World where I can go on Kilimanjaro Safari and still be in the United States. Okay, so just protect yourself. All right. So with that being said, speaking of travel, let's get into this from InsideTheMagic.com. Hersheypark may not open for summer 2026 season. New report reveals. This came out yesterday. Here we go. Tensions are rising as the sweetest place on earth prepares to open its 2026 summer season. Hersheypark is scheduled to open 7 days a week, starting on May 21st. But a union strike vote scheduled for this week could delay operations at the largest theme park in Pennsylvania. There we go. Continue on here. Hershey union workers reject final offer from employer. On Thursday, May 7th at 4 p.m., over 200 union maintenance employees at Hersheypark, the Hotel Hershey and Giant Center, rejected Hershey Entertainment Resorts, called its last best and final contract offer. This was the third offer from the Pennsylvania theme park after negotiations that began earlier this year. In mid-March, Hershey Entertainment Resorts and the union agreed to extend the fall contract for days to allow for continued negotiations. Over a 3-day period this week, union maintenance employees will vote on whether to strike in response to the rejected final contract offer. These employees include skilled tradespeople across Hersheypark, the Hotel Hershey and Giant Center concert venue, including carpenters, HVAC technicians, rock mechanics, electricians, plumbers, welders, painters, machinists, sign artists, laborers, central plant operators, garage auto mechanics, and utilities technicians. All critical positions as the Pennsylvania vacation destination prepares to shift from weekend-only operations to 7 days a week beginning May 21st, everybody. So there is the Ferris wheel there at Hershey Park. Although Hersheypark has long been a favorite employee in South Central Pennsylvania, maintenance employees say conditions and benefits have degraded over the last few years. They are seeking fair wage increases, higher pay premiums for less reliable shifts, and more affordable health care plans. The union has said it will reject any contract offers that devalue skilled trades, lower professional standards, or open the door for Hersheypark to lower wages for maintenance roles in the future. How could a strike impact the Pennsylvania theme park? There's one of the roller coasters there. And then, of course, you see the candy factory right over there. Yes, indeed. Hersheypark is currently open only on weekends as it prepares for the summer 2026 season. I believe Cedar Point getting ready to open their 157th season. My God. Woo! The Boardwalk Water Park is scheduled to open on May 23rd, and the Pennsylvania Resort just debuted its newest hotel, the Hershey Inn and Suites. Welcome inside the all-new Hershey Inn and Suites opening May 1st, so it's been open for about 11 days. Who's ready to wake up in the sweetest place on earth? So here is the inn here, Hershey Inn and Suites. Very nice. I'm assuming that this is like, you know how like there's value, there's moderate, and then there's deluxe resorts at Disney. I'm sure that this is like a value resort for people who still want to stay on property, but don't want to pay an extreme amount of money for it. So In addition to a delayed summer opening, a strike can mean more attractions are closed or guest facilities are inoperational due to a reduced maintenance team. The next performance at the Giants Center is Nate Bargatze, scheduled for May 16th. That is happening in 5 days. In 5 days. And many union contractors who help set up the venue are likely to refuse to cross the picket line if Hershey. Oh, hang on, give me a moment. There we go. I'm sorry, y'all. Right there. Scheduled for May 16th, and many union contractors who help set up the venue are likely to refuse to cross the picket line if Hersheypark maintenance employees are right. And that's Hersheypark Stadium right there. The union will announce the results of the strike vote later this week. Hershey Entertainment Resorts has not issued a statement regarding potential maintenance worker strike. So, what do I think about this destination? This is pretty big. This is pretty big. I mean, that's like the supposed Indian that wants to run for governor of Ohio, and he says he wants to consolidate the universities. For example, Kent State University, which is in Kent, Ohio. If you get rid of Kent State University, then you destroy the economy of Kent, Ohio, right? So when it comes to the maintenance workers, first of all, they deserve health insurance. They deserve their wages. Without them doing the ancillary work, the park cannot be at its highest capacity, right? And not to mention, too, there are plenty of, students, right, in high school and college that are on summer break that have been looking forward to this to save up some summer money so they can get a car, they can get a down payment on an apartment, this, that, and third, what have you, right? And also, too, that means benefits are not good for those summer employees or seasonal employees as well. And of course, full-time is full-time, part-time is part-time. At my job, we can only get so many hours a week because they don't want to do the same thing that Hersheypark doesn't want to do, right? So it's interesting because how can a company ever grow if you don't invest into the company? So, child, if it's not one thing, it's another. Now, we're going to take a little bit of a break because our next destination is coming up. But y'all know we do things a little bit differently over here. I got to roll you into this next one. We'll be back right after this. Roll it.
I got a question for you. What does this city know about luxury? Huh? What does a town that's been to hell and back know about the finer things in life? Well, I'll tell you, more than most. You see, it's the hottest fires that make the hardest steel. Add hard work and conviction, and the know-how that runs generations deep in every last one of us. That's who we are. That's our story. Now, it's probably not the one you've been reading in papers. The one being written by folks who've never even been here and don't know what we're capable of. Because when it comes to luxury, it's as much about where it's from as who it's for. Now, we're from America, but this isn't New York City, or the Windy City, or Sin City, and we're certainly no one's Emerald City.
This is the Motor City, and this is what we do.
And welcome back into the show, everybody. Yes, indeed. It's time to talk about some Chrysler news, everybody. Yes, indeed. Here we go. From Mopar Insider, shout out to them. Chrysler is set to take center stage at Stellantis Investor Day 2026. Investor Day presentation expected to highlight future products. So right here, the new Chrysler wing badge on the 2027 Chrysler Pacifica. Now, as you guys know, Chrysler only has one vehicle, the Pacifica, and I've been in it. It's quite nice, but that's the only thing that they have. For the past several years, Chrysler fans have been asking the same question: what exactly is the future of the brand? With just a single vehicle lineup centered around the Pacifica minivan, many enthusiasts and industry watchers have questioned whether Chrysler still has a meaningful role inside Stellantis. But according to recent comments from Chrysler CEO Matt McLear, the answer may finally arrive later this month. During a recent interview with Detroit News, McAir hinted that Chrysler will play a major role in Stellantis' upcoming Investor Day 2026 presentation in Auburn Hills, Michigan. Chrysler could be finally ready to expand. There is the Pacifica right there. Despite years of uncertainty, Chrysler has quietly remained more successful than many people realize. The Pacifica continues to dominate the minivan segment, and in recent months, Chrysler has even managed to outsell Dodge. That's impressive considering the brand only sells one core product. Give me a moment, y'all. Okay, let me do this here. Okay. All right, let's continue on here. McLear made it clear that Stellantis still sees value in Chrysler's future. I think we got a lot of positivity around the brand. McLear told the Detroit News, I don't think that there's anything to be worried about. It's some stuff we already talked our National Dealer Council about, and we're excited to kind of lay that out on May 21st. So we gotta wait till May 21st to see what the plans are going to be. That statement alone has sparked major speculation throughout the Mopar community. Investor Day presentations are typically where automakers outline long-term strategies, future product plans, and brand direction. If Chrysler is getting significant stage time, it likely means new product announcements are finally close. This is interesting. Okay, there it is. I want to see that. Sorry, y'all, I'm looking up something. It's all going to make sense here in a minute. Believe me, it's all going to make sense here in a minute. That'll work right there. Okay. Continuing on. If Chrysler's getting significant stage time, it likely means new product announcements are finally getting close. Chrysler's products, Chrysler product pipeline, say that 3 times. Chrysler's product pipeline is starting to take shape. Chrysler isn't dead. You see that from the Mopar Junkie. Former Chrysler CEO Christine Furrow previously confirmed that multiple new Chrysler products are already in development. That includes the long-rumored C6X crossover, the updated 2027 Chrysler Pacifica, and even the possibility of a future sedan that could revive the iconic Chrysler 300 nameplate. Fuel was especially direct when discussing Chrysler's return to the sedan market. We are working on a car. I can tell you that with 100% certainty. She said that I can't tell you when exactly it's going to launch, but I hear from all of you that you want to see the 300 come back, and that's on the table for sure. For longtime fans, this could be one of the biggest developments the brand has seen in over a decade. SRT can return under Chrysler. That is their sports edition, y'all. Another major surprise from Field's earlier comments was confirmation that Chrysler could eventually receive street and racing technology performance models again. SRT. I'm so excited to bring back SRT. She said, I can tell you after meeting with my counterparts, Tim Koxinis and Matt Aldeir, we got really awesome plan for SRT. Multi-synergy strategy opens new doors. So this is the Chrysler Airflow graphite concept was a lead up to the upcoming C6X crossover. So there is that there. One of the biggest shifts happening inside Stellantis is the company's changing stance on electrification. Instead of going full battery electric as originally planned, executives are now embracing a broader multi-energy strategy. Fuel explained that changes in emissions regulations are giving the company more flexibility to move forward. So a lot of legislation that has been passed recently has paved the way for us to bring back the Hemi, bring back SRT, and to go multi-energy rather than double down on battery electric, she explained. That's especially important for Chrysler because it suggests vehicles may offer buyers multiple powertrain choices instead of forcing customers into EV-only products. Affordability is becoming a major priority. We've talked about this in our sedan town hall. If you missed that, go back and watch that after this live. That right there is the Chrysler 200. One of the nicest cars ever. Okay. My uncle has the Chrysler 300 Motown edition. Oh, I can't stand them for it because it's got every single Motown track in history. The seats are emblazed with the Motown logo and just, it's awesome. They need to bring that back. Listen, bring the Motown edition to the Chrysler 200 and these other ones that I'm going to show here just a minute. Yes, indeed. Perhaps the most important part of Chrysler's future strategy revolves around affordability. Both Furrow and Stellantis CEO Antonio Fiorza acknowledged that vehicle prices have climbed beyond what many Americans can realistically afford. Furrow issued the issue directly. The average transaction price for a new car, I believe it or not, is $49,000, she said, and that does not work for most consumers. She also confirmed that Chrysler is working on a smaller, more affordable vehicle designed to compete below the $30,000 price point. Phil also echoed those concerns during remarks at the Detroit Auto Show. That's the North American International Auto Show in Detroit, Michigan, everybody. A combination of value proposition with being competitive is in the price offer. This is one way to address affordability. Phil also said the other way is the product lineup. Investor Day could be a turning point. For the first time in years, Chrysler appears to have real momentum again between new crossovers, a possible sedan revival, SRT performance miles, hybrid and internal combustion flexibility, and a renewed focus on affordability. Stellantis may be finally preparing to reposition Chrysler as a serious American brand once again. If McLear's comments are any indication, May 21st could be one of the most important days for Chrysler in modern history. Shout out to Robert S. Miller, a great job there. Now, I was looking up some stuff here, y'all, because I wanted y'all to see this. So you guys know the Chrysler 200, right? Yeah, that's the mid-size sedan. And you also know the Chrysler 300, that's the full-size sedan. But did you know about this? This right here is the Chrysler, wait for it. Oh, we're live here. You know how technology can be fun sometimes, right? So this right here is the Chrysler 100. So this was going to be the compact sedan. So the Chrysler 100 was going to be the compact sedan. The Chrysler 200 was going to be the midsize sedan. The Chrysler 300 was going to be the full-size sedan, right? But there was another vehicle that I don't think a lot of people remember. And it looks a little something like this. Looks a little something like this. Now, if anybody remembers the styling of this, this is the all-new updated PT Cruiser. Okay, so imagine the Chrysler 100, 200, 300 PT Cruiser, along with the Pacifica. That's a good lineup, right? And I play the, oh, no, now you can see. Give me a moment, sorry. StreamYard will be like that. Give me a moment. Can y'all hear me? There we go. Okay, give me a moment. I'm move. Okay. So here's this here. This was the Chrysler 100. So like I said before, there was supposed to be the Chrysler 100, the compact sedan, Chrysler 200, which is going to be the midsize sedan, the Chrysler 300, which is going to be the full-size sedan. And then, like I said before, this is the PT Cruiser, right? So, like I said, they brought back the PT Cruiser in this style, right? And make this, and this is the thing that all companies need to do. They need to do EVs, hybrids, and gas, right? And remember that commercial with Will Ferrell, Awkwafina, and Kenan Thompson, and GM was trying to destroy Norway. As we can see, Norway is still standing, and the U.S. is falling because the network for energy is higher with gas than with electric, even though the gas crisis right now and the war overseas is embedded a lot of ish. That does not mean that they should not be doing gas prices, right? Or not gas prices, but that doesn't mean they should not be doing gas models. So I want to show you guys that there, all right? All right. So listen, I'll be watching May 21st, and whatever comes out, I will definitely report to you guys on it here because, like I said, I think Chrysler definitely can be that everyday brand, right? And when you see that commercial, that was all shot in Detroit. Okay. So I'm going to play it one more time, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about Spirit Airlines. Then we got Nick Cannon, our positive destination, for your positive news story, and then that's it. We'll be back right after this. One more time, everybody. Roll it.
I got a question for you. What does this city know about luxury? Huh? What does a town that's been to hell and back know about the finer things in life? Well, I'll tell you, more than most. You see, it's the hottest fires that make the hardest steel. Add hard work and conviction, and the know-how that runs generations deep in every last one of us. That's who we are. That's our story. Now, it's probably not the one you've been reading in papers. The one being written by folks who've never even been here and don't know what we're capable of. Because when it comes to luxury, it's as much about where it's from as who it's for. Now, we're from America, but this isn't New York City, or the Windy City, or Sin City, and we're certainly no one's Emerald City.
This is the Motor City, and this is what we do.
I think that campaign imported from Detroit was so good. And I think that campaign can be used again. Even though you really should not reuse campaigns, that one brought everybody together because it was imported by people right here in America. I think that right now, that's how you make America great. Not again, okay, because America was already great before your ass and your administration, your support screwed up the country. But that's how you make America great, by utilizing and showcasing and elevating what we already have. Amen? Amen. All right, more Breaking News Virtual Tour Live coming up right from the space right here and right now. Let's talk about Spirit Airlines, everybody. From News Nation, yes, indeed, here, more than $300 million in Spirit Airlines more than $300 million raised in Spirit Airlines crowdfunding effort. A campaign to save Spirit Airlines after it shut down all its operations has raised more than $300 million so far. TikTok creator named Hunter Peterson posted a video to the social media platform proposing a plan to purchase Spirit through crowdfunding, according to USA Today. This is a genius idea. We nationalize Spirit Airlines, owned by the people. Airlines gone. We make a new airline. Peterson said in the video, launch Let's Buy Spirit Air, which as of Saturday afternoon has raised exactly $337 million from an average pledge of $907. Peterson also said in a later video after launching the website that the effort started as a joke, but that it's also rapidly go out of control the best possible way. The model Peterson proposes based off the Green Bay Packers business model, the NFL football team that's what we own. On Saturday, May 2nd, Spirit Airlines ceased operations and canceled all of its flights after 34 years, really 43 years, because of the other name that they had. I think it was Charter, if I'm not mistaken. The airline's already going through the liquidation process. So there is that there, and here it is here. In the process of creating legal structures, right? So live mission in progress. I love the website. By the way, I just want to say that. So right here, $337 million, right? And you can look at the pledges right here. $45, one vote, right? Profit share, base share, all that. So if I can, I will have to look at my funds because funds are good. But anyway, I think I might want to do this, and not to mention too, of course, Spirit's going to need a new brand director for this. So if y'all make it remote, I will apply. Like I did apply before, with obviously that's in Florida. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But congratulations, though. I mean, to raise $337 million, and the target raise is $1.75 billion. I think they're going to get there. They're way further than Tasha K will ever get to that 1.5 million, but that's neither here nor there. Speaking of money, let's get to this. From complex.com, everybody. Nick Cannon's former accountant allegedly stole $2 million and fled the United States of America, child. Like I said, I remember when I tried to help Melody Cherie, I was called everything but a child of God. So just keep it in the butt. Here we go. The man is believed to have fled to Uganda. Here we go. Nick Cannon's former accountant has been accused of stealing $2 million from the entertainer and fleeing the United States afterwards. TMZ reports that Frank Muskogee, a former account manager at a Beverly Hills management tax firm, allegedly stole money from Cannon for years. In an 8-count indictment filed by federal prosecutors, he's alleged to have leveraged his position through managing the financial affairs of top celebrities. Those Cannon's name isn't mentioned. TMZ sources say that he's the victim being referred to. He reportedly been a client at the firm where Muskogee worked for almost 20 years. According to prosecutors, Muskogee had control of the victim's debit cards and pins. Which led them to withdraw $1.7 million from ATMs from December 2019 to December of 2023. He allegedly spent more than $160,000 on purchases from Amazon, almost $192,000 on and more than $106,000 in miscellaneous personal purchases. Adding everything up, prosecutors allege that Muskogee stole more than $2 million from Canon. Muskogee was said to have been fired in July 2023 by his firm after the missing money was discovered. In the indictment, prosecutors also alleged that he hid more than $1.7 million in allegedly stolen income on federal tax returns, which caused him to get hit with 3 tax evasion charges and 5 counts of wire fraud. Muskogee is believed to have fled Uganda, where he has dual citizenship. He is currently facing 20 years in federal prison for each wire fraud charge if convicted, plus 5 years in prison, plus up to 5 years in prison for each count of tax evasion. So far, Ken has yet to speak publicly about the situation. Well, this goes to show you have to be careful with who you have in your circle, right? I think that that goes without saying. Number 2, I don't think you should ever be so busy that you just hand everything over to people. We have seen what has happened with Wendy Williams, right? And her conservatorship, which we're pulling for Wendy. Hopefully she will be out of that conservatorship very, 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 very soon. And of course, Britney Spears as well. So it's just, if it's not one thing, it's another. I don't think at this point in life, right? Nick Cannon can make that back, right? I mean, he's still in the industry after the whole Amber Rose situation that I got told I need to mind my own business. I was trying to drag down somebody's business and defame and deface and this, that, and the third. But that could have had a real life consequence on his businesses and other people's businesses. But hey, please forgive me for trying to be a good messenger. Okay. So with that being said, everybody, some good news right here for all of you. Right here. Ladies and gentlemen, 30 minutes ago, right here, here's your positive news story of the day. Married to Medicine season 13 officially confirmed. This came out 30 minutes ago. Shout out to the Jasmine brand. The ladies of Married to Medicine are coming back for another season. On Monday, May 11th, NBC Universal unveiled a wide-ranging slate of Bravo renewals during its upfront presentation. Unsurprisingly, fan favorite Married to Medicine is among the series officially greenlit for another season. While the official cast is yet to be confirmed, changes could be on the horizon. Dr. Heavenly Times run for Congress has already sparked speculation. She's not going to win, especially with Bravo's rumored contractual rules that allegedly restrict cast members from holding or pursuing political office. The policy is seemingly why she was demoted to a friend role last season. Several other shows are set to return, including Wife Swap, The Real Housewives Edition, and The Real Housewives of Rhode Island, both heading into their second seasons, as well as Summer House, The Real Housewives of Potomac, which is reportedly currently filming, and Top Shelf. The full lineup is available on Bravo's website. So congratulations to Married to Medicine being renewed for season 13. So we will be reviewing it over here, everybody. Y'all, we did that in 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 38 seconds. Not too bad. I'm going to turn on my camera now because we done the whole show for over 2 hours. Yes, we have. Ooh, my Lord Jesus. So we're going to take a little bit of a commercial break, and then we'll be back to wrap things up right here. We are live on Tour. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll be back right after this. Roll it.
Lights go low, the city goes high. Stories untold under moonlit skies. Pray lonely, got the vibe, got the flow for the culture. Yeah, you already know. us, it never ends. Tune in, lean and feel the groove. Every moment, a vibe you can't lose. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braylonly's got the soul to show you. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire. Hear the whispers in the city's hum, echoes of stories where we're from. A beat, a step, a voice so clear, the pulse of us, it's all right here. We got soul, we got flavor, every moment is a savior, every experience is an overcomer. Turn it up, feel the glow, let the rhythm flow. Spotlight shining, we in the zone. This is the place where the culture's grown. Stories untold, now they're coming alive. Braylonly got the vibe tonight. One thing to know and two things for sure. Higher is waiting and lower is available. But either way, we gotta go on tour. It's Braylonly's virtual tour, where the culture makes its move. Feel the love, feel the truth. This is us, this is you. From the unknown, the unembraced and more. This show, this brand and the possibilities of what can be is all here for you. I'm just a kid from the rock, trying to be a rock for people, trying to make it best they can to become. Being moved as a creator of power, to lift up all of us, not just a selective few. For the culture, by the culture, here we be. Braylonly, bringing life to your screen. Feel the soul, feel the truth, we're free. Trust and believe it's entertainment, news done our way with Braylonly. Spotlight sharp like a diamond shine. We see the stars, but the stories align. Deep in the soul where the heartbeats find. The pulse of the people redefining time. And just a pro tip, people have to earn the right to hear your story, but in addition to that, people have to earn the responsibility to be a part of it. Just because we are not seen by everybody doesn't mean we are not being seen by who needs to see us. Noise equals attention and sound equals purpose. Anybody can be a creator, but it takes a somebody to be an artist.
Beyond this gate, find gardens green and epic worlds to fill your dreams.
secret about our approach. We keep moving forward.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
In Disney's 102-year history, there have been many defining moments and countless achievements.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
In Disney's 102-year history, there have been many defining moments and countless achievements. Today, we celebrate another thrilling moment, the creation of a spectacular new Disney theme park resort coming to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi is a place where heritage meets innovation, a place where we preserve our past while designing the future.
Bringing a Disney theme park resort to Yas Island, Abu Dhabi marks a historic milestone in our journey as a global family destination.
The 7th Disney theme park resort destination represents a new frontier in theme park ambitions. Our resort in Abu Dhabi will be the most advanced and interactive destination in our entire portfolio. The location of our park is incredibly unique. It's anchored by a beautiful waterfront, which will allow us to tell our stories in completely new ways. Ultimately, this project will be a celebration of what's possible when creativity and progress come together.
What we are creating with Disney in Abu Dhabi is a whole new world of imagination, an experience that will inspire generations across the region and the world.
This collaboration represents a powerful fusion of Disney's unmatched legacy in storytelling and Mira's commitment to bringing world-class entertainment to our guests.
Abu Dhabi's vision for the future is to create a legacy for generations to come.
Disneyland Abu Dhabi will be authentically Disney and distinctly Emirati. An oasis of extraordinary Disney entertainment at this crossroads of the world. It will bring to life our timeless characters and stories in many new ways, becoming a source of joy and inspiration for the people of this vast region to enjoy for generations to come.
Caesar. Just look at him. Politician. General. Author. Ruler. Man. Legend has it, he's not only stared into the belly of the beast, he's had it for dinner. Here he's free to relax, or party, or relax, or party, or relax, and party. His is a world of opulence, excess, and the occasional impulse buy. Not one to rest on his laurels, he's famous for ushering in a new age of entertainment. So, for anyone seeking a place where the sun never sets, on a good time, all this awaits.
I am Caesar, and I approve this palace.
I'm loving it. McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. McDonald's. I'm loving it. McDonald's. I'm loving it.
I love you so much. I had to tell you thrice. Welcome back in to Brainley's Virtual Tour Live. That is it for me. I will see you guys back here a little bit later on the night, probably around 6 o'clock for Real Housewives of Atlanta, everybody. We have a lot to discuss. Plus, I saw some big news. I think gonna make a lot of Bravo fans happy, but we'll get to that at 6 o'clock tonight. One love, much love, all love. I feel love and send it right back to you. Bye, everybody. By the way, it's Mother's Day week, so celebrate mothers all week long. All right, love y'all, for real. I gotta go. All right, bye-bye.
I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
I have been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content. I have been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content. I have been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content. I have been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content.
Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about, besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about, besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about, besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about, besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about, besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Brandon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time.